This week's secret garden is also a sacred one. And I'm going to go through the gates of Glenstal Abbey in County Limerick on the west coast of Ireland. It's here a group of Benedictine monks take care of a rare garden. It's Fr Brian I'm here to meet, and he's going to show me around this secret garden. You've been here, Father, since 1986?
Yeah, well, I began the work in the garden in '86.
And
yes.
what did it look like at the beginning, when you started?
Well, in the beginning, it was very overgrown.
How old garden is overgrown?
It was totally overgrown.
Yeah.
On all three terraces, it was pretty much a wilderness, yeah. We dug out rhubarb, we dug it out, we burnt it out, we rotivated it, and we cleared the grass, cleared the lawn, and made a lawn.
So you put all, this is all new then, apparently, apart from this structure here.
Yeah, this structure is a Victorian greenhouse which belonged to the Barrington family. That was built about 1890, but the garden itself is 1680. The external walls are 1680, and some of the terracing is 1680. There's been two owners. Originally, it would be a Cromwellian settlement in the 1680s, the people that built the house. There was a house on the tennis courts out there, and then this garden was constructed for that house.
And what would be the original use for it? Like vegetables, food?
Yes, at that time, say 1680s, they were building gardens or creating gardens for vegetable, fruit, and a pleasure garden.
You've given it a completely different theme. Obviously, this bottom bit you've gone is quite formal, isn't it? And ornamental. You've got a baseous border, and the terraces serve different purposes. The next one you've gone for the veg and the fruit, haven't you?
Yes, well, basically, the plan was to restore it and to show off the lines of an old walled terrace garden. And then I had the idea of putting in a Bible garden, which I did. I laid out rather formally on the top terrace, and then I brought the idea down onto the second terrace.
The religious connotations in the two terraces that up from this one, yeah?
Yeah, it's more specifically in those two terraces.
Right, okay. Well, let's go and have a look at the next one, yeah.
Okay. Well, this area is vegetables, and I planted them, there's a biblical reason, that when the Jews were starving in the desert, they complained to Moses, and they wanted leeks, onions, garlic, melons, and cucumbers. So under that heading, you can grow quite a few things, and alliums are a cult thing these days anyway. And the other thing is Daniel and his companions, when they were in Babylon, were told to eat the king's food and the king's meat, and they refused, and they ate vegetables only.
Right, so there's a connection in there, isn't there?
A connection there, and under that heading you can grow anything. So I have a vegetable border, and then I have other vegetables in there.
And this provides you with food as well, I take it. And you've got a lot of self-seeding here, like the fennel and stuff.
Self-seeding fennel and self-seeding rocket I've got in there as well.
So it's really enjoying itself, isn't it?
Yeah, there's rocket, spinach. This is all last year's. Spinach, and then ruby chard.
Ruby chard. You've got lettuce
onions,
here.
Lettuce,
that's ready to eat, I take it.
That's very... Well, it's rare lettuce for me. It's Arctic Blizzard. It's the first time I've planted Arctic Blizzard lettuce, and these are all the crops for this coming year.
Right, so you've got you've got new baby lettuce coming up here.
Baby lettuce, and in the midst of it, wild poppies or natural poppies.
So these will be what colour when they come up?
These are the famous opium poppies.
Ah, right.
And if we say that, we'll be arrested. But they're the opium poppies.
Now, as long as we just look at them, we'll be fine.
We'll just look at them. Yeah, okay.
You've got some magnificent figs here, Fr Brian.
These were here before I came. But I kept them because they fit in obviously to the Bible. In the Jewish tradition, there were 7 varieties of fruit and vegetable, and this was one of them. But interestingly enough, the first hints of gardening concern a fig tree. In the Bible, there's a story of a man meeting Jesus, and they had a bad fig tree. And Jesus wanted to cut it down. And the man said, "Give me a year to dig all around it and manure it." And Jesus agreed. And you, as an experienced gardener, would know that if you're dealing with fig trees, you root prune them. Yeah. In other words, you would dig all around them. So you have very clear gardening advice in the Bible about fig trees.
That's a brilliant little story. And I see you've got a lot of fruit here as well. A lot of it, are they raspberries, you've got gooseberries, you've got a bit of everything. Do you get big crops off these plants?
We get good crops, and the more manure, the better crops. In a sense, there is a biblical refrain to it. In the Psalms, there's a lovely little thing, fruit trees of the Lord, bless the Lord. So under that heading, you can grow any fruit trees.
Well, this is a very peaceful spot, isn't it, Brian?
It's very peaceful, and I rarely sit down, so it's pleasant to sit down in the garden. And
Always
be
too
peaceful.
busy, always too busy. And tell me about this, I really like the design up here. It's kind of almost checkered. How did that come about?
I followed a design from the Sangal monastery garden, Benedictine, the same as the order I'm in now. And they had rectangular beds in the particular gardens they had, herb gardens. So I had that idea in my head. And there was also an idea of trying to get a maze idea, because in the primitive mazes, you meandered around and uncovered a mystery, a mysterious presence in the middle of it, a goddess or something.
Yeah.
And in Christian tradition, like in Chartres Cathedral, you go around the maze and you encounter Christ in the middle. Like in front of us, though, there's a sort of a bit of a gimmicky bed, if you like, with Solomon's seal, Jacob's ladder, Aaron's rod in it.
Oh, so you just do like almost name references to the Bible, yeah?
Yeah, that is name references. The other one, like the palm trees we have, these cordyline, and then the real palm tree, the trachycarpus.
Yep.
There's a little reference, the just person shall flourish like a palm tree.
Gardening and religion are maybe quite closely connected, aren't they?
The important events of Scripture, creation, the death and resurrection of Jesus, all took place in a garden.
Yeah.
And then you have, if you like, the more natural saying that when you're in a garden, the kiss of the sun for pardon, the song of the birds for mirth,
One's
one
closer
closer
to
to the garden than anywhere else on earth.
I found these gardens to be truly inspirational, not just from the point of view of the plants, but also because of the historical and educational values. And as they say, the devil makes work for idle hands, so I'm off to get busy.